Good morning. My goodness, man, I have some major allergies going on. They're doing construction all around our place, and man, I am struggling with sneezing this morning. But I'm going to get this video done. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. You landed on the YouTube channel where we share with you information and knowledge to help you learn how to fish. If you give a man or woman a fish, they will eat. If you give them a fishing pole, they will eat for a lifetime. If you teach them how to farm, they will feed a nation, warriors. It's very important that you understand that we are in the biggest shift in generational wealth. And what I want to do is I want to open up your eyes to the narrative. As you look this way, there's a whole nother narrative going on this way. And what's happening right now is we are part of and sitting in the biggest shift in generational wealth in history. And you have so much things pulling you this way as a whole nother shift is going this way. And there's never been an opportunity, never in our history, for people like you and I to be involved in the biggest shift in generational wealth. But what I'm going to show you today, this is going to be a longer video, so I would highly recommend you stay till the end, warriors, because these types of videos are going to change your life. And here's why. Because this is not fun stuff. This is not interesting. It's not exciting. It's economics. It's boring. It makes you make big decisions. But reality shows, okay, they're fun. They're exciting. There's dopamine. We like drama. Scrolling through TikTok, it's fun. It's exciting. A lot of cool stuff. People acting like idiots. People doing stupid stuff, right? People like me saying, "Warriors rise." It's entertaining. This stuff is boring, warriors. But what's not boring is having money in the bank. And what's not boring is being able to support your family. What's not boring is being able to bring money back to the people. That's not boring, warriors. Being able to travel where you want, when you want, and having freedom, that's not boring, warriors. But that takes dedication. It takes focus, and it takes knowing that you have that opportunity. It's not reserved for the 1% warriors. It's reserved for every single human being on this earth. But there's a path you have to do to get there, and it's a difficult path. It's about reprogramming your subconscious mind because you were born into a system that made you a worker. And in order to break free from that paradigm, you have to change your subconscious mind from the inside out. So I'm going to take you through some multiple videos. I'm going to take you back to 2018. Then I'm going to take you through the narrative that's being built out here. So I'm going to show you Tika Tawari. He's an amazing person in the cryptocurrency space. You also have Robert Kiyosaki, who last year really started talking heavily about Bitcoin. You got Raul Paul, I always say his name incorrectly, a heavy Bitcoin investor. But then also I'm going to show you the narrative. So coming from their perspective, and then the narrative as we go along with Janet Yellen talking about cryptocurrency being or Bitcoin being illicit. And right now, as you sit here, we're going through a 30% correction. But that's great, warriors. What you do in this market is you buy people's fear and you sell the euphoria. It's a very simple game, warriors, and you've been taught completely backwards. Do everything backwards, you're going to be all right. So let's jump right into it. This is going to be a longer video, warriors. But these types of videos, I want to share these with you because I could talk about the 30% correction right now. I could talk technical analysis. But a lot of people coming to my channel are just getting introduced to cryptocurrency, right? So I have a Warrior Academy where I teach people mind, body, immunity. There's nothing like it in the world, to be honest with you. Work out with us live daily. We do your nutrition. You get mindset coaching, goal setting, vision board creation, manifestation techniques, a 120-day challenge. I show my cryptocurrency portfolio. We have a Thursday cryptocurrency call, a Discord with over 700 warriors working together in the quantum financial system. We have guest speakers like this Thursday. We have someone coming on talking about cryptocurrency taxes. So we help bring the information to you guys in one area so you don't have to go to all these different places. We also share with you some of the best people out there in the YouTube space. But anyways, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to share with you information. Everything's down in the description below. So let's kick it off first with Tika Tawari. So this was something he did with, God, I just forgot the guy's name. Anyway, so we'll watch this video and listen to what he says. And just, you have to learn the narrative, warriors, because you're not going to hear this narrative on the news. So listen to what he says, okay, about what happens during these times, okay? So the big companies are buying your fear. They have always done this in history. They're buying your fear. Now you need to learn to think like the billionaires. Not do what they say, but do what they do. Let's follow along and I'll narrate this.
Was back during 1994 to 1995. In the early to mid 90s, individuals were making just enormous amounts of money buying companies like Dell, AOL, Microsoft. Microsoft, Netscape, and some of these smaller internet stocks. And the institutions had completely missed that bull market. And so they were scoffing at these so-called lemmings. And so during 1994 to 1995, we had a bit of a bear market. And so, again, institutions were out saying that, oh, anybody buying internet stocks, you're idiotic. And so you had a lot of people selling their AOL, selling their Microsoft, selling their Dell shares. Guess who was buying? It was the institutions. If you look at a chart of institutional allocation.
Okay, let's stop. What did you just say? The institutions are saying you're basically an idiot if you're buying these tech stocks. And guess who left the market? The common folk. This has been happening over and over again, Warriors. And I'm going to share with you the crypto narrative now.
To venture capital internet deals, it doubled between 1994 to 1995, which was exactly when institutions were saying, oh, this is just a market for idiots. Mm-hmm. Nobody should be buying this stuff. Mm-hmm. So they literally stole all this wealth that should have been in the hands of individuals that owned Dell, Microsoft, and AOL. And then from 1995 to 2000, of course, we saw $5 trillion come into the market, in the biggest bull market we've ever seen.
Now, does that sound familiar right now, what's going on with Ripple XRP? The institutions are shaking out the retail investors?
So this blueprint of creating fear in order to get cheap prices is nothing new. So
hang on just a second before you go on.
Yeah.
This one is really important to me because the housing crisis, those banks, they bought up all of those houses. They were the ones who caused the problem.
Right.
Then they were talking everything down and saying, I'm just taking the junk off the table.
Yeah.
That's not junk now.
It's not junk. When it's dropped 40 to 60%, it's not junk. So this happened between 2011, 2012. Blackstone Group buys 50,000 homes. But during this period of time, the regular individual couldn't get a mortgage. Right? It was virtually impossible to get a mortgage during this time, exactly when institutions were buying. And then the dot-com crash in 2003. If you can go back and look at old CNBC clips during 2003, even as the market was starting to come up, oh, don't buy tech stocks. No, they're evil. Don't buy tech stocks. Don't buy tech stocks. But institutions, if you looked at the 10Ks, the Qs, and all of the filings, the quarterly filings, they were all loading up on tech.
This is how the rich get richer.
Yes.
They know.
So let's pause for a moment. Do you remember, Warriors? I've been teaching you this. Who got much richer last year during the pandemic? The 634 wealthiest people in the world became much wealthier as you were waiting for your damn stimulus check. Let me say that again. The 634 richest people in the world became well wealthier as you sat there and waited for your measly little stimulus check.
They're connected. A lot of times they're coordinating without the insider trading. This is not illegal to do.
No, manipulating the news cycle, if you're smart about it, is they can get away with it. Nobody's ever been arrested for anything like this.
So now, with crypto, I know personally, people that would have gotten in or stayed in if these people weren't saying what they're saying.
Right, and so this has really been extremely egregious. So on September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Right.
Okay, George Soros.
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws.
Okay, so I'll leave it right there. Go follow Hidden Halo. He posted this video, so I want to give him credit so you can watch the rest of the video there. They played the whole Tika Tori interview with, that's Glenn Beck, I believe. Okay, so we're going to go over here to Robert Kiyosaki. Now, Robert Kiyosaki was skeptical about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of my favorite books. We're going to watch this. Please hang in there, warriors. This stuff is important. This is how you learn how to fish. I'm getting the information for you guys so you can learn this game, so you can become the uncommon 1% as we're doing in the Warrior Academy.
Then isn't it helicopter money? I mean, they can't, like, if you don't have a good balance.
So this conversation is really important because we talk a lot about CBDC, central bank digital currency. That's very different from cryptocurrency, but you have to understand, ushering in CBDC creates the conversation, gets people using their digital wallets, right? So CBDCs, like you got XLM that's building CBDCs, XRP could help with CBDCs. So just listen closely. I'm trying to educate you.
You can't borrow any money. But they need to get the money into the hands of Joe, Mr. and Mrs. Public. So by Yellen and Powell marrying up, they can bypass the banks and just inject cash straight to mom and pop. I mean, is that how you see it? That's how I see it.
Exactly right. And that's what central bank digital currencies do at core. They create a banking function from the central bank that they could say, hey, Robert, I'm going to stimulate you this much and I'm going to charge you a different interest rate. So you could have a negative interest rate because you're a saver and a student could have a positive interest rate. All of this, the behavioral economics of monetary policy and the combination of monetary and fiscal is all coming over the next few years. So we're going to see a massive change. And in the end, yes, it is helicopter money. There's no way around that.
So what they mean by helicopter money is our money's not attached to anything. We detached from the gold standard in 1971. So they're just printing money, right? You're just printing money. What does that do? That actually deflates your U.S. dollar, deflates the value of your U.S. dollar. Now, every fiat currency, government-issued currency in history has collapsed. So they're just helicopter money. They're just printing.
What is this central bank digital currency? What does that look like? How does that play out? And how does that affect, like, Bitcoin and gold and silver?
Well, it's basically twofold. One is this need to extend monetary policy in a way that might work, because they're kind of acknowledging it doesn't work. The other thing is they're acknowledging we live in a digital world. Everything we do, we're talking over Zoom now. It's like sitting in the same room, right? The world has changed. We're totally digital. So you need a payments platform that can instantaneously move money around. Also, they've decided that they want to be able to instantaneously create stimulus or withdraw stimulus to different parts of the population. So central bank digital currencies allow all of that. But what it also allows is on-ramps and off-ramps for the digital world of Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies, because it becomes seamless, very quick. I can transfer money out of dollars straight into Bitcoin, straight across to yen, and all of that world flows. So it does give us this life raft, which is Bitcoin, that we can use as our own reserve currency, much like many of us have used gold for many years. And, gold has always formed part of the system. That's not going away. But Bitcoin is the kind of new elephant in the room that's really adapted to our modern environment. And it makes it super, super easy to use.
Okay, so that should help you understand the narrative of why these big companies, and I'm going to show you, are moving their assets into Bitcoin. It's becoming the new gold, okay? Now, Bitcoin, for example, it's their life raft, as you talked about. You want to have some sort of asset to hold the value of your currency. If you're holding savers or losers, if you're holding cash in your account, you're literally holding something that's deflating, right? As inflation goes up, so not only is your dollar, because your dollar's worth less, as inflation goes up, right? They're printing money into infinity, making it worth less, and inflation, it costs more to buy stuff, right? And so the Bitcoin's becoming the life raft for big institutions, and CBDC is going to help bridge that because it's going to get people used to using a digital currency, okay? Now, remember what we talked about here, Tika Tori was talking about the narrative, right? So right now we're in a big correction as we sit here right now. There's a 30% correction happening within the cryptocurrency space, and I'm smiling. I just messaged all my warriors and said, buy the fear. Don't sell anything. Buy the fear. Chill out. Relax. Take a deep breath. Do the opposite of everybody else. People new to the cryptocurrency space are like, oh, I'm out of here. They jump out. They're flooding the market so they can buy more. Institutions are hammering right now, buying. So what I do is I'm buying the fear right now. as everybody jumps out of the market in think about a 30% correction in the stock market. You would freak out with a 30. That's very common in the crypto space. You ride the surfboard down to the bottom, you freaking buy more, and as it goes up and people start hitting euphoria, everybody's talking about the barbershop, you skim off the top. That's how I built my whole portfolio. I made 6 figures in 6 months in the bear market just by scalping. All right, Warriors, so here we go. So let's go right into this. So as we talked about the narrative, right? This was February 22nd. Yellen sounds the warning about extremely inefficient Bitcoin. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on Monday warned that Bitcoin is extremely inefficient way to conduct monetary transaction. She spoke as cryptocurrency price tumbled in the morning trading, but remained above 53,000. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen issued a warning Monday about dangers that Bitcoin poses to both investors and the public. Despite a sharp slide in price to start the week, the cryptocurrency continues to trade above 53,000. I don't know where it's at right now. We'll check it. At this time, she received a boost from various sources. Elon Musk and Tesla recently made substantial purchases and has said it will accept Bitcoin as transaction. Okay. Narrative continues. Now, Christine Lagarde, ECB president, so she's the European Union, okay? ECB President Christine Lagarde says it's very unlikely that central banks will hold Bitcoin in the near future. ECB President Christine Lagarde said it was very unlikely central banks would soon hold Bitcoin. I would say it's out of the question, Lagarde said on the call hosted by The Economist. Now, they're probably not going to hold Bitcoin, but they're, like you said, the CBDC, remember what he said, the CBDC, the central bank digital currencies, you're going to need an on-ramp, off-ramp. So people who are using CBDCs, the rich are going to have this Bitcoin as their life raft. You may as well be involved in the biggest shift in generational wealth, right? Cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. The narrative is going to increase, and you're going to get left behind. You're going to be stuck in your CBDC, right? And they're going to be able to control your interest rate. They're going to be able to deflate your currency, okay? Then JP Morgan, as he talked about back here, where he told us JP Morgan in 2017 was saying it's a fraud, right? JP Morgan has their own digital coin, their own digital currency. They have their own digital platform. You can build a Ethereum type, it's Ethereum type blockchain where you can build your own cryptocurrency in JP Morgan. As he told you, it's a fraud, Warriors. Okay, I'm not going to play all these videos because we're getting pretty deep into the time. You got MicroStrategy CEO, his Bitcoin playbook. So you got Michael Saylor, moved almost all his assets into Bitcoin. MicroStrategies, the company, moved almost all their assets. Michael Saylor also had a meeting with over 10,000 CEOs to move their assets into Bitcoin. Well, because of that, Tesla, I don't know if it's because of that, but Tesla buying Bitcoin with ripple effect, they bought the 1.2 billion, I believe, in Bitcoin, right? Shaking the market. Okay. Then you move over here. You got first Bitcoin ETF launches in Canada, and it is crushing it, Warriors. So let's watch this video.
Types of institutional investors you've been fielding phone calls from?
Yeah, so far we've seen both, trading partners, players that are active in the space already, the fundamental investors that are long-only investors that are coming in and buying in small pieces so far. And then, of course, just long-term kind of portfolio managers, advisors, investors that are both traders and active and long-term investors. So all of them. I think the big opportunity will come when we start to see Bitcoin become a core part of large portfolios, whether that be mutual funds, institutional pools, and others that I think are going to be exciting to see. And this is what ultimately this is about. Like, you bring an efficient vehicle for people to access this when they haven't been able to in the past. That's what we expect will really help change Bitcoin's positioning in long-term asset portfolios.
So what's happening is Bitcoin EFTs, it's on the stock market, Warriors. So this is very important to understand. Now, many of you are like, oh, JB, Bitcoin, it's $50,000. How am I going to get involved in Bitcoin? Now, here's where the biggest shift in generational wealth happens. There's things called alternative coins that are pennies on the dollar. You have some that are 5 cents right now, some that are under $1, 60 cents, some that are great, great value, that have real-world solve fundamentals. The altcoin space is where people build generational wealth. The uncommon 1% can spread out their portfolio within the altcoins, right, for a very little entry point to make a good amount of money. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is what I did. I did it in the bear market, Warriors, and now I'm reaping the rewards in the bull market, okay? Now, what are alternative coins? As everybody rushes into Bitcoin at the barbershop, everybody's talking about Dogecoin and Bitcoin. They get there, they stop, then they go, oh, okay, well, I'll buy some Ethereum. Then they go to Ethereum, it's almost $2,000. The common folk can't buy that, right? So then they go, oh, wow. Then they see XRP, they see XLM, they see VeChain, which is 5 cents, they see Engine, and they start to explore other cryptocurrencies. And that's when demand comes in. It's supply and demand. There's demand for Bitcoin right now, so the value goes up. And then when the money flow goes down into altcoins, that's when the appreciation comes up for the altcoin. So there's a Bitcoin, and then it floods down into altcoins. And so right now we're seeing a big 30% correction, which is very healthy for the market. You can't just see parabolic moves all the time. It will create a new all-time low, and then we'll go to a new all-time high, and then we keep going up. Then there'll be a bear market for about 3 years after this bull cycle, and then you just keep doing what the billionaires are doing, Warriors. It's very simple. As they look this way, as everybody looks this way, you're going to look this way. And you got to learn the game so you can't be played, Warriors. So if you made it this far, you're somebody who really wants to change your life, and you are the generational shifter within your family. So I plan on eradicating poverty. That's my goal. Every day I wake up to eradicate poverty. I don't want to see anybody poor because this is God's money. This is not our money. It's a flow of energy. It's an energy system. Just like the trees wake up every morning to trust that the sun will come up and the soil will give it nutrients. I trust every day that God's going to give me the abundance that I need to bring it back to the people. I'm a very trusting person in God. I love the life of Jesus. I'm non-religious, and I love everybody. Whatever religion you are, we accept you in our academy. That's exactly what we do, just an ecosystem of people. It's not a perfect academy, but damn well we're working very hard to bring as much information to our warriors as we can. The difference with us is we truly, truly love and care for people. This is a mission. This is not a business. This is to help people change their frame of mind from the inside out so they can build generational wealth for their family. I plan, and the Warrior Academy plans, to make a massive dent in society and changing people from the inside out and realizing that they have the power to accomplish great things. So my name is Coach JV. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world, but you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. You can join our private Warrior Academy by clicking the link down within the description. If you have any questions, go to my Instagram page at CoachJV_. I will do the best I can to answer within 24 hours. I get about 100 messages a day, and I answer every single message. So I do the best I can to get to you as quick as I can, Warriors. I love you very, very much, but damn well, don't let me love you more than you love yourself. Warriors, rise. Make sure you share this video with a friend.